Okay, so I wrote some stuff down. So if you see me looking down, it's to keep myself on track. So the event that I'll be talking about is the Black Lives Matter movement. So for the first one, how did this event affect the future as we know it? I said that it opened the floor for conversation about how Black lives were being handled, and also showed that the Black community were indeed standing in solidarity with each other to ensure that change occurred. For the second one, how did things change? People begin to be held accountable for their actions. People were not able to explicitly be racist without the consequences. So, and when I say that, that is the consequences, whether they are formal charges for, doing something that was just egregious, or socially, like saying something racist, or just, you know, implicated in any of those things, just being canceled or whatever, that would be socially. The third one, how did this affect education? So, outside of teaching young Black and brown students about their right to protest, there was a big push for a curriculum reform. And this reform included talking about things in Black history that is not usually pushed inside of the schools. So just, Black leaders, Black inventors, Black scientists, people who we don't normally see in textbooks or things like that. It was a big push for that. And then how are you personally affected in your practice? So personally, as a Black woman who is also a public school teacher, I teach social studies. There were things I stayed away from. It became harder to teach because some of the topics we discussed could be qualified as critical race theory. So this was around the time where critical race theory was the peak of conversation. And it was very, very hard for me because most of our standards were based on discussing some of these things. So discussing the different ethnic groups, discussing the different religious groups, and getting them to have an understanding, but also getting them to analyze those different groups and analyze those different religious groups. So it was tough because we kind of had to tread a fine line between discussing the standards and not allowing anything from the world to kind of sink into it. But it was a social studies class, so it was very, very tough. But that is my take on the Black Lives movement, but Black Lives Matter movement.